Hey everyone, Will here. Another video for the weapons bin. I have a M7 bayonet here, which is used on M16s or AR-15 rifles. But back around 1985, U.S. Army wanted to change out the M7s. Exactly why, I don't know. But they were looking, they basically wanted a do-it-all knife. Something, I got it written down here. They basically wanted a multi-purpose tool. Number one, it had to be a bayonet. Number two, it could serve as a combat knife. Number three, they wanted a field craft knife. And number four, they wanted a wire cutter, all in one. So they, in August of 1985, they started taking bids, and 49 contractors expressed interest in making a new bayonet. Out of those 49, only 14 submitted prototypes. Of those 14 prototypes, 6 were chosen for final testing. Each maker was required to submit 55 bayonets of their design for final testing, and most used existing designs due to time constraints. I imagine many of them were based on the M7 here. They probably might have beefed it up a little bit, added a wire cutter, which isn't too hard to do. The tests that were administered were point drop tests from 5 feet onto a concrete floor in which the point was not to bend or chip. That's pretty rigid requirement right there. Just about any knife you drop from 5 feet onto a concrete floor on the tip, you know, it's going to do something to the tip. It would have to do a deadlift of 400 pounds without snapping. And it would have to bend 1/2 inches without breaking or taking a permanent set. There was one knife which passed all this, and that was this one right here, the designed by Phrobis. Now, and it wasn't really that fair because all the other designs, they had a cost of around $19. This knife here cost the government had a cost of $49. So of course it's going to do, you would expect it to do better in the tests, but I guess the Army had a lot of money to spend, and the Rambo knives, the Rambo movies were popular back then, so I guess they that influenced them to do this design. Of the 5 entries into the final trials, one was from Britain, one was from Spain, one was from Germany, and one from Schrade of here in the U.S. Following the trials, Schrade, who submitted a modified M7, they finished 4th in the trials. They complained, hey, you know, Phrobis won this thing, but they got the most expensive bayonet. Nothing really came of it, but I imagine if Schrade had won that contract, maybe they'd still be here in the U.S. I love the M9, but is it really necessary? I don't know. But it is a nice knife, neat looking too. So let's take a closer look on the M9 here. So here we have the M9. I mean, it's got a good weight to it. I mean, look how thick that blade is. They really put a lot of features on here. We'll start with the knife. You got, they put bottle cap openers here. This is the slot to for the wire cutter. The release, just like the on the M7. Let me get that for you here. Going on the same gun, so it makes sense to keep the release about the same. It could be taken apart, take out that Allen head. Got a saw blade here, although I don't know how effective that would be. I guess in an emergency it would do the job. You can see the markings there. Phrobis was the first company to make the M9. Later on they gave the contract to a company, Landk, who made some. You can see the Phrobis, like a fish there. Can't really make it out. It's got a false edge here. It's goes into the wire cutter. Nice tight fit. The scabbard is definitely one of the most complex bayonet scabbards around. It's made to go on web gear. You got a sharpening stone, although I don't know how good that tiny stone would work, but I guess it would do the job. Got a pouch up here, put some odds and ends in there. Got a little screwdriver tip here on the tip. Definitely one of the most complicated, complex bayonet and scabbard systems ever adopted. It was adopted in 1986, and first deliveries were made in February 1987. Phrobis is a research and development company, not a manufacturer. They licensed the design and production to Buck Knife Company, and Phrobis retained the patent rights. Later, Phrobis production used blades and parts made in Spain, and they're marked. Production using Spanish bayonets was not for the U.S. Army, and apparently was for sales to other countries. The bayonet with buck-marked blades was sold commercially by Buck Knives. So, and there's a lot more interesting things about this bayonet. It's got quite a history. Lots of different markings for collectors, and between this and the Landk, it'd be nice to do a side-by-side comparison with the Landk, so maybe one day. But I bought this. This was $160 on eBay, which I don't consider too bad. For it's such a quality knife, and such light wear on the knife and scabbard. So check it out. And the chickens just had to come up and say hi near at the end here. So M7, M9, quite a difference, but quite a difference in price for the government also.